I gotta say, there's lots of movies out there based on books that kids have enjoyed, and it can really stretch out their imaginations and what have you. And I recently saw how that goes in Harold and the Purple Crayon, now playing in theaters. But is this adaptation of the popular children's book a colorful experience the kids and the whole family can enjoy? Or is this one not colorful enough and is completely just bland? Find out in this spoiler free review right now. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Noel, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a spoiler-free review of the just now released 2024 fantasy comedy flick Harold and the Purple Crayon, released by Columbia, directed by Carlos Saldana, from a screenplay by David Guion and Michael Handelman, based on Crockett Johnson's 1955 book of the same name, starring Zachary Levi as the titular character, along with Lil Rel Howery, Jemaine Clement, Tanya Reynolds, and Zooey Deschanel in supporting roles. Now, this film serves as a sequel to the original book, where after the adventurous Harold grows up with his purple crayon and draws himself off the book's pages and ends up in the real world, the physical world. And he learns his crayon can solve more hilarious hijinks than he thought possible. And if he finds that he has a lot to learn about real life. Anyway, that's all the story I will give to you. So since I already gave you the heads up, so there's not much of the story I can give to you. Anyway, now I've never actually read this book before, even as a kid, but I know of this book because there was actually a recent animated series a few years back that HBO Family had shown. And also, the film was produced by John Davis through his company, Davis Entertainment, which, of course, recently had a big deal with Fox, which, of course, worked on numerous films. So this isn't the first time they worked on family films. They also had Davis Productions also had worked on Richie Rich, Dudley Do Right, the Doctor Dolittle films with Eddie Murphy, Daddy Daycare, the live action Garfield movies, and the live action Fat Albert movie Aragon, and lots of other films. But also some for big guys as well. Anyway, I will say that once Harold and his two friends named Moose and Porcupine end up in the real world, well, this is when the fun begins. And I will say, once Harold gets his purple crayon to use, and well, I can say this really turns into a fun filled thrill ride. He meets a young boy named Mel who befriends him. Well, and soon they get to be friends, much to the, well, how should I put it, the dismay or whatever of his mother, Terry, who is skeptical of Harold's imagination. But anyway, for our cast, I will say Zachary Levi is definitely really good as Harold. If you didn't see my first ever out theater reaction, I actually did like Mr. Levi's performance. This is probably the best performance he's given us since Shazam. And let me tell you, it was really, really cool. Lil Rel Howery, who I've seen in several films, most notably big guy films, like the Vacation Friends films, and I believe he was in Get Out. He plays Moose, and I'm going to say he's exceptionally really good and what have you. Of course, he and Porcupine, who was played by Tanya Reynolds, who has appeared in several movies. Haven't really seen much of them, but the only one I'm familiar with she was in was the 2020 remake of Emma. I've got to say, when those two change from their animal form into human form in the real world, wow, that's really something. I really like their performances and what have you. Now, young Benjamin Bottani plays Mel, and I liked his performance. He was really good. Zooey Deschanel plays Terry. I'm going to say she's good as well. We also have Alfred Molina as the narrator. I'm sure you know who that is. Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2, and he was also in The Sorcerer's Apprentice and the Dudley Do-Right film. Yeah, he was Snidely Whiplash. Yeah. Now, a lot of the cast was pretty good and what have you. My only bit of an issue with this was the bad guy, Gary Netwick, or Library Gary as he was called, as because he's the villain, played by Jemaine Clement. Now, he's a good he's good and what have you, but yeah, his character's kind of a little bit of an oddball at times from my in my opinion, from my point of view. But he's not completely a bad well bad and what have you, but he is a pretty good but he's an okay villain and what have you. Well, I'm no take that back. He's a good villain and all. Just the way he goes and what have you, and to promote his book and what have you, which just yeah. And he plans to get a hold of the piece of Harold's crayon to use for evil and what have you. So that's about it. So the cast is not too bad. The score was done by Batu Sener, and that wasn't too bad. Now, but I do like the direction done by Carlos Saldana, who recently was well known for being the director of the second and third Ice Age films, as well as the Rio films and Ferdinand. I'm going to say he's very good direct at his direction and what have you. Anyway, the film unfortunately has been getting dissed like crazy. It sits at a mere 28% on Rotten Tomatoes, and they say it with a high concept treatment that misses out on the blissful simplicity of its source material. The film is a tribute to imagination that's content to only color inside the lines. Metacritic has this at a score of 35. But I can defend this film and why have you. It's just that I kind of have a little bit of an issue with the villain though. But not 100%. He's fit. Let me put it to you this way: he's kind of 50-50 and what have you. Some of his performances were good, some of it okay and what have you, but not great though. So overall, I think Harold and the Purple Crayon was definitely a fun experience. I think your kids will really like it. If so, I would recommend you take your kids to see this film. Harold and the Purple Crayon ended up being a fun little film. I thought it was really good. So for my score, I'm gonna give Harold and the Purple Crayon 4.5 stars. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 9. So, what did you think of Harold and the Purple Crayon? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And also, you can feel free to share my vids with your friends. Get them to know about, get them to, well, know about my channel and stuff like that. And, well, that's also another way you can be a part of my Big D Nation. Anyway, join me next time because we'll have another spoiler-free review coming up tomorrow. So if you liked this, you can check out my reviews for these other films that are actually based on kids' books. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of A Real Guilty Pleasure, and it's The New Adventures of Pippi Longstocking from 1988, very underrated film. Or go to the upper right hand corner and see my review of Paddington from 2014. Well, that's the year it came here in America. Or if you'd like something else with a little imagination, go to the bottom left hand corner and see my spoiler free review of the recent hit film If, which is now streaming on Paramount Plus. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.